It's day 54, 2016, and here's a roundup of all the important news from day 1 of Mobile World Congress. First up, it's Sony with 3 new mid-range devices and an audio accessory. Let's talk about the Xperia X and the Xperia X performance first because they are both highly similar devices. They both have 5-inch Full HD displays, have 3 GB of RAM, have 23 megapixel cameras at the back and 13 megapixel cameras at the front. They also have the design trickling down from the Z5 intact with the fingerprint sensor at the side, and also run Android Marshmallow, the latest version of the operating system. So what makes them different is the underlying chips. The Xperia X has a Snapdragon 650, which is a hexa-core processor, and then the higher-end Xperia X performance has a Snapdragon 820, a quad-core processor. So that's the difference between the two devices. The rest of the specs and everything is almost the same. And the X performance was the XA, that's the Xperia XA. It's got a unique twist. It's a mid-range phone which is much lower than the X and the X performance, but it's got an end-to-end edge curved display. So that's the XA's unique selling point. And this 5-inch HD screen is supported by the Helio P10 processor, has 2 GB of RAM, 4G LTE, a 13 megapixel camera, and so forth. So check out all the hands-on videos that we have on all these 3 devices in our YouTube channel. And there was also another accessory that Sony announced. That's the Bluetooth smart earbud called the Xperia Ear. It's basically an in-ear voice assistant that can listen to your commands and even perform commands based on your settings. So that's the Bluetooth-based smart bud that we had seen from other companies like Motorola, which announced a very similar product last year. So Sony is indeed taking some chances in the new market in terms of this accessory, but the new mid-range devices, they seem really appealing, but Sony has to get the prices right to make a real comeback. Also announced at MWC was the Gionee S8 with pressure-sensitive 3D touch. The latest flagship from the company has a 5.5-inch Full HD screen, has 4 GB of RAM, runs on the Helio P10 octa-core processor. There is a 16 megapixel camera on the back. There is a hybrid dual SIM slot with support for 2 WhatsApp accounts. And the most important feature is, of course, 3D touch. It has 3 levels of pressure sensitivity for force at touch, tap, and press, much like the iPhone. And this definitely will come to the global markets with a new branding soon. So that's the Gionee S8. Global giants Facebook and Google are making new inroads into the mobile infrastructure ecosystem. First up, Facebook is announcing the new Telecom Infra project, which aims to build telecom infrastructure in partnership with companies like Nokia, Intel, and several carriers. What Facebook and its team will do is create open source hardware and software reference platforms so that iteration can happen faster towards technologies like 5G. Google, on the other hand, wants to implement the RCS standard and has garnered a huge number of support from operators. RCS stands for Rich Communication Services, which will bring the operator-controlled primitive text messaging services towards today's modern instant messaging platforms with features like group chats, real-time read receipts, and even high-res media support. So you can upload files and download files and so on, but everything happens over the network, not over the internet. That's what RCS stands for, and Android will be getting a client made by Google based on the universal profile. And RCS is meant to gain calling features going forward, so we'll see how it goes. But overall, both these advancements from Facebook and Google seem to be strategic battle positions for the future. Finally, we have news from Cyanogen, which has introduced a mod platform for Android devices. Get it? Cyanogen's mod. So basically, these mods are packages that can be downloaded that will extend your device's functionality. Microsoft is a launch partner and they have mods for Skype, Camera, and Cortana. What the Skype mod will do is that it will add functionality to dial directly to Skype from the dialer itself. So there isn't a separate app here. You can just call directly from the dialer. So that's extension of a functionality. The camera mod adds features like hyperlapse to the inbuilt camera, so you can directly switch to the hyperlapse mode and start shooting time lapses. Yes, even Cortana can be installed as a mod, which happens natively on the platform. It's definitely a new way to think about extending functionality. LG did it with hardware, and Cyanogen seems to want to do the same with software. But will they succeed? And what is your take on the Cyanogen mod platform? Let us know in the comment section below, and that's about it for today's show. Do keep checking the regular MWC coverage on our YouTube channel, and see you tomorrow with more technology news. Thanks for watching.